Psalm 23, verse 1, part 1. The Lord is my shepherd. We're going to write on the page just using a basic biro or pencil or pen, it doesn't matter. We're going to write either a list or write across the page or randomly around the page. It really doesn't matter how you write or where you write. You can turn the page around if you need to. Now what we're going to write is our names. You can either use just your Christian name, or you can use names that you use on a regular basis. So if you have nicknames or family names, then use them as well. Once we've started with those, I want you to then think about names that other people have called you in the past. Names that are more of a label than a name, that some of them may be hurtful. And I want you to add them in around the page as you go. As we think about our verse today, the Lord is my shepherd. A shepherd means keeper, Lord, protector, carer, saviour, leader. And a shepherd tends for and protects his sheep. Now I'm just doing squiggles with some coloured pencils, just making squiggly little clouds or sheep. Now you need to get some black paint, and I'm going to be using acrylic paint. Just dip your finger in and put little dots at one end of each sheep. This is our head. We're then going to use a felt tip or black marker and draw in the ears and the legs. The Lord is my shepherd. I am his sheep. I belong to him. He created us uniquely. Just as our fingertip prints are unique, he loves how different we all are. We need to accept our uniqueness as a blessing and walk in it. We need to accept Jesus as our shepherd, to rest in the fact that we belong to him, which means he will keep us close, care for our needs, save us, lead us through everything and protect us in all danger. In ancient days, David's in the Bible, kings were seen as shepherds who led the people, cared for them, provided for them and protected them. And the people looked to their king like sheep to a shepherd. Next, we're going to draw some simple shapes, squares, triangles, circles, diamonds, and then we're going to turn them into jewels. John 10:11-14. Jesus spoke of himself as a good shepherd. He knows his sheep and they know him. It's a close personal relationship. We need to allow him to come into all the areas of our life. He knows about them already, and he's not judging us or critical. He just wants us to let him in. Nothing we tell him is a surprise. From experience, he knows me and my issues before I do. He reveals them to me and helps me to deal with them in a safe place. Sheep are property. A shepherd is responsible for them. He cares for them and values each of them because they have worth. We often do not see our worth, but as we get to know Jesus more, he reveals it to us. He sees us as precious stones. Zechariah 9:16. The Lord their God will save his people on that day as a shepherd saves his flock. They will sparkle in his land like jewels on a crown. When we are born again, we are grafted into that tree of Israel. So we too are those precious jewels. He values us highly, even to dying on the cross for us. If you or I were the only one to accept him, he would see it as worth it. So now, as you can see, I've started adding paint. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very, very simple. I'm using acrylic here, and those lines that we drew in before, you can do darker so that it can give you a little bit of interest in your shape and give you a slightly 3D effect. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's about just enjoying painting as you do it. Now, sheep are not the cleverest of animals, and we could take being compared to as sheep as an insult, but God's knowledge and understanding of everything far surpasses our knowledge of understanding about anything. But left to our own devices, we get ourselves into trouble when we follow our own or other people's ideas and plans. And our shepherd understands what is better for us and how to keep us safe and protected and living our best lives. So when we understand that we are useless without him, he's able to keep us safe within the boundaries of his guidance and protection, like a sheep in a pen overnight, where he guards while we sleep, where he nurses and cares for us, feeds us and helps us to grow. So when we know him personally and depend on him for protection and everything else, he's able to guide us. When we understand that the Lord is our loving, protecting, guiding, caring shepherd, we see a portion of who he is and can be to us if we put our trust in him. If you do not know Jesus as your Saviour today, I ask you to take a moment and ask him to come into your heart and become not only your Saviour, but the shepherd of your life. And as you do this, in time, he will show you what a beautiful jewel you are to him, as he leads you and holds you close as a shepherd with a lost lamb he has found. For those who know him as your shepherd, I challenge you to draw closer to him. Be the lamb that stays closest to his feet for warmth and comfort. Use art journaling and creating, craft, painting to meditate in his presence. So after finishing the painting, I'm going to add in a little paper shepherd with a lamb on its shoulders. Now it's important that it's a shepherd with a lamb on its shoulders because we are talking about that relationship with Jesus. I'm also going to add the Lord is our shepherd. So now I'm going to do some touch-up jobs, just going over with black marker to bring out some of those shapes on the jewels. And then I'm going to be putting eyes on my sheep. So these are just like finish off little jobs that I have missed. So although I've drawn around my shepherd with gold pen, I've now covering it with gold paint. I'm just doing it with my fingers, rubbing it in. I just want it to shine. So at the beginning of this one, we wrote our name and names that people's and labels that people have put on us. But what we're going to do now is we're going to write words that are labels that God has put on us. We are precious, we are His, etc., etc. We are unique. And we're going to just add them onto our piece. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I really hope it's blessed you. God bless.